No one remembered the first man who disappeared. That was the rule of the city. The first loss was always forgiven, written off, explained away. A drunk who took the wrong train, a man who owed the wrong people, someone who decided not to be found. It wasn't until the fourth body that the pattern started to breathe. Evan Holloway walked every night. Not for exercise, not for peace. He walked because staying still made the memories louder. The city after midnight felt honest to him. Streetlights flickered without apology. Storefronts reflected distorted versions of himself. People who were still out at that hour carried secrets as openly as coats. Evan learned the rhythms quickly. Which streets emptied first? Which buses ran late? Which alleys swallowed sound? He never rushed. People who rushed drew attention. Detective Lena Morales hated night shifts. They reminded her too much of how the world looked when her brother vanished, dark, uncertain, full of unanswered questions that never learned to shut up. The fourth body was found near the Riverwalk, tucked beneath a pedestrian bridge where the city pretended not to see its homeless. Male, early 40s, no ID. Hands folded neatly over his chest. Eyes closed. Lena stared at the body, longer than necessary. "Why do they all look relieved?" she asked. Her partner didn't answer. Evan watched the news every morning before work. He liked to hear how the anchors struggled with words like unfortunate and tragic, how they avoided saying alone. He worked as a night security guard for a medical complex. Long hours, minimal supervision, plenty of locked doors. People assumed he was harmless because he was quiet. Quiet people were always underestimated. Evan logged his routes carefully. Time mattered. The fifth victim screamed. That was new. Evan hadn't expected the man to fight so hard. Hadn't expected the sudden panic, the wet slap of shoes against pavement, the sharp tearing sound when the man's breath broke. The scream echoed down the street. Evan froze. For a moment, just one, the noise crawled back into his chest, clawing familiar. Then it stopped. Evan stood there, shaking, staring at the body. The silence that followed was not comforting. It was expectant. Lena noticed the change immediately. "This one panicked," she said, flipping through photos. "Something disrupted him." "Think he's getting sloppy?" her partner asked. "No," Lena replied. "I think he's remembering something." Evan hadn't meant to start killing. That was the lie he told himself. The truth was quieter and worse. He had been waiting for permission. When Evan was 16, his sister Mariah disappeared walking home from her job at a diner. No witnesses, no suspects, no closure. The police told his family to be patient. The city told them nothing. Evan learned early what happened to people who walked home alone. After Mariah vanished, Evan started walking her route every night. Same streets, same corners. He imagined her footsteps ahead of him, always just out of reach. Sometimes he thought he heard her breathing. The sixth body was found near a bus stop. The seventh behind a grocery store. Always men, always late, always alone. Always someone who walked home. Lena pinned photos to the board and stepped back. "Look at the spacing," she murmured. "He's mapping something." Her finger traced a path. A familiar one. Evan began choosing carefully. Men who lingered too close to women on sidewalks. Men who followed without speaking. Men who smiled too slowly. He told himself he was correcting something the city had missed. He told himself this wasn't revenge. It was prevention. The eighth victim had a daughter. That detail stuck to Lena like glass under the skin. She was waiting up for him, the officer said quietly. Lena stared at the report. So had Mariah. Evan started leaving the bodies in lighted places. Under street lamps. Near crosswalks. Beside convenience stores that never closed. He wanted them to be seen. He wanted someone to notice. The city noticed. Headlines changed. Serial killer targets men walking alone. Police warn residents to travel in groups. Evan read the articles with shaking hands. The noise returned. Louder now. Lena walked the route alone one night. No backup, no radio chatter. Just footsteps and streetlights humming overhead. She felt it then, the pressure, the sense of being observed not by a person, but by a memory replaying itself. "You're not invisible," she whispered. The streetlight above her flickered. Evan followed her for 3 blocks. He didn't know why. Something about the way she walked, alert but tired, felt familiar. When she stopped abruptly and turned around, he froze. Their eyes met. Recognition sparked. Not fear. Understanding. "You walk like you're listening," Lena said. Evan didn't answer. "You lost someone," she continued, "didn't you?" The silence between them stretched thin. "I lost my sister," Evan said finally. "So did I," Lena replied. Evan didn't kill her. That should have ended everything. Instead, it broke something open. The killing stopped. For a while. The city exhaled, patrols relaxed, headlines moved on. Lena couldn't. She kept walking at night. Waiting. Evan tried to return to normal life. The noise wouldn't let him. Every street felt wrong now, every shadow too full, every silence too sharp. He had taught the city to expect something. And it remembered. The 9th body appeared 2 months later. Different. Younger. A college student walking home from a party. No record, no suspicion. Evans stared at the body in horror. "I didn't choose you," he whispered. The streetlight flickered once, then steadied. Lena arrived at the scene before dawn. She saw it immediately. "This one doesn't fit," she said. Her partner frowned. "Think it's a copycat?" "No," Lena said softly. "I think he lost control." Evan realized too late what he'd done. He hadn't been stopping monsters. He had been feeding something else. A pattern. A permission. The city had learned that walking home could end badly. And it didn't need him anymore. People began attacking each other at night. Fights, stabbings, panic. The streets grew louder than ever. Evan covered his ears and screamed into the dark. "Stop," he begged. The city didn't listen. Lena found Evan standing beneath a streetlight at 2:17 a.m. Same place Mariah disappeared. Same posture. Still. "You taught it how," she said gently. Evan didn't look at her. "I just wanted it to stop," he whispered. The light above them burned too bright. Evan turned himself in without resistance. He confessed to everything. The city moved on quickly. It always did. Years later, Lena still walked at night. Carefully. She noticed something most people didn't. Some streetlights stayed brighter than others. And sometimes, if you listened closely, you could hear footsteps behind you, even when no one was there. They never found Mariah. But sometimes, on quiet streets, Lena swears she hears a woman walking just ahead. Still going home.